Hello, hello. What's up, guys? You are watching the Couch Casuals, and I'm Robert Dylan Vasquez, and this is my lovely, beautiful co-host,
Kyle DiOrio. Welcome back for a beautiful UFC 290 pre-show.
UFC 290 pre-show. So we're going to talk your ears off on everything that's going down today, because this is a Saturday special, of UFC
Saturday special.
290. Let's go. So you have Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Kyle.
We've got Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja.
Ooh, good job on the pronunciation, or the pronunciation rather.
You like that one?
I like it.
The next one's tough.
Now, is this the first time that these guys are fighting?
It's like the third.
It's the second.
Second, fuck.
Because they fought on Tough.
Sad.
They fought on Tough.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? You want to start from the bottom up?
Let's start with the... Yeah, we'll go bottom up this time.
Okay.
Let's start with the...
We're going to start with Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price.
Yes, the featured prelim.
Okay.
Robbie Lawler's retirement fight.
It is Robbie Lawler's retirement fight. Can you name me, for the sake of the pod, your favorite Robbie Lawler moment?
I mean, it's got to be versus
Rory
McDonald.
Two?
That fucking
that was the second fight.
The lip screaming, brutal, just flapping in the wind. Man, that was a savage fight. Like that fight looked so much like a actual gladiator fight. If you ever want to talk about how that shit was brutal.
I feel like that's what we're missing nowadays in most of these UFC fights, is the gladiator mentality of like, either I die or you die.
You know, this is gonna be a weird thing to say, but like at the top, guys are so highly skilled. There's less brawls. It feels like there's less just like all out brawling in the top fights, which is not a bad thing. But like that shit was a fucking stand your ground and let's bang.
So pre Tony Ferguson, I feel like Justin Gaethje was that kind of guy that was just throwing caution to the wind. He got called. I don't want to say ruthless because that's Robbie Lawler and stuff like that. But like, you're right. The higher the level, the more tactician you get. Like the more slip and the more like technical you get. I feel like Justin Gaethje is a dying breed. I feel like Robbie Lawler is a dying breed. Not to discuss his like retirement, but that guy, he was doing an interview, and it was about the stare down between him and Rory McDonald. I think it was going into the fifth or going into the fourth rather. And what was going on inside his head? There was that, and then you have the stare down between the two, and he was like, "What is going on inside your head right there?" He goes, "Why are you running from me? I thought we were going to effing fight. What are you doing?" And so I feel like he was smart to do that because Rory was trying to be a tactician. He was trying to be technical, and Robbie just wasn't playing that. So,
dude, such a savage fight.
Such a savage fight, dude. You see that lip. You see the way the fight ended. If you don't know, subscribe to ESPN Plus. Go on UFC Fight Pass. Maybe subscribe to that and see that fight. Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler 2.
Code CCMMA for 10% off your first purchase.
Promo code CCMMA.
Yeah, I never forget that. Or if you're cheap, I think it is on YouTube for free. It's one of their free fights.
I mean, come on. So you have...
It's amazing.
You have Robbie Lawler's retirement fight versus Nico Price, which Nico Price is as game as they come. I don't know how many Nico Price fights you've seen. He has a knockout.
He's wild.
He has a knockout on his back. He is a game fighter. He's a
wild man.
He's not gonna wrestle F. Fuck. I can say it. I can say it. He's not gonna wrestle
one F.
He's not gonna wrestle fuck. And so it is two.
Rated R now.
So Robbie Lawler.
No, it's gonna be a fun fight.
Oh, it's gonna be a throwdown. And that's
because if we follow the pattern of all retirement fights in the last couple years, does Robbie get brutally knocked out?
No. He
hope not.
He trains at a really good gym. He trains at a really good gym. He has expert coaches. He has expert experience. Not saying Nico Price doesn't, but you're talking about 22 years in the game. You're talking about
long time. I saw a stat when Robbie Lawler entered the UFC, Rory was only 13. And then he grew up to have his, greatest fight against the guy. It's crazy. That's insane.
Did you retort or ask me my favorite Robbie Lawler moment?
What is your favorite Robbie Lawler moment?
Nick Diaz won.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. No. God.
When he got knocked out by Nick Diaz, the guy interviewing Nick Diaz goes, "Now, you're not notoriously a knockout fighter." And Nick goes, "Yo, how do you know that?" And then he goes out and knocks out Robbie Lawler, the Ruthless, the badass,
How'd you feel about Lawler Diaz 2?
You want to piss me off right now? Listen, we're co-hosts on this. You're
right. My bad.
You're gonna make me mad right now?
Should we move to the main card?
Okay, all right. Let's move to the main card. Boom. You got Bo Nickel versus Gore. Oh wait. Tresean Gore.
About that one.
Ooh. I don't know what happened with Tresean Gore, but it's not happening anymore. I don't know what happened with Tresean Gore, but it's not happening anymore. So
Let's see if I can find it.
You have Val Woodburn, which you alluded to something earlier. What is he?
Let me tell you Val Woodburn's history. This man is an absolute monster.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be an incredibly tough fight for Bo. Val Woodburn has headlined the last 2 to 3 Combat Night Tallahassee's. Combat Night Tallahassee headliner here on the main card versus Bo Nickel. It's going to be a slobber knocker.
Now you're telling me that Bo Nickel, umpteenth time NCAA champion, decorated wrestler, he's going against how many time?
3. One was Fight Night Orlando. So he's a very good Combat Night fighter.
A 3-time Tallahassee Fight Night. What?
Tallahassee. Combat Night Tallahassee.
You know how serious Tallahassee is about their...
It's one of the greatest cities in America for MMA. Tallahassee.
Okay. All right. So, if I pull up my phone and I see that Bo Nickel versus Tresean Gore is off, what are my first thoughts? Who are they going to replace Tresean Gore with? They replaced him with Val Woodburn. And I think Val is the biggest underdog in UFC history.
Plus 1,100.
I have
That's
plus
insane.
1,200.
Okay, this is on their side, but I guess the odds would probably fluctuate a little bit.
Maybe, but I know Bo is a minus 2,500. You talk about the Amanda Nunes or the Valentina Shevchenkos of the world. Are you talking about minus crazy numbers? All that Bo has is NCAA wrestling, and he is the biggest favorite in UFC history.
It is pretty crazy.
Which makes Val Woodburn the biggest underdog in UFC history.
Let me just say, though, this is at middleweight. Val Woodburn looks like he could easily be a light heavyweight. The dude is thick.
Oh,
he's a big dude.
Yeah, for sure.
That's probably all he's got going for him. He's 7-0 in Combat Night. This will probably be this is probably not lasting one round, so it's gonna be fun while it lasts.
So I think that we've failed, and we need to go back and give a pick versus.
Oh, for Robbie Nico?
Yeah, just let's go back.
I'm riding with Ruthless.
Let's go back and give a pick for Robbie versus Nico.
Come back with us. Beep, beep, beep.
I got Robbie Lawler. I'm
gonna ride with Robbie.
You're gonna
ride with Robbie.
Okay, cool. Same. I like Nico. He has a knockout off his back. He's always a game-bred fighter. He's always down to fight. But when you're going up against the KOK, the King of Kings, I really don't see you knocking out Robbie Lawler. I
sure hope not.
I mean, we can hope all we want. Nico's going to Nico.
My concern is Nico is going to Nico. And my concern is, while I'm trying to get back into frame here, I got to ride with my bald brother. You know what I'm saying? Bald boys for life. Yeah, I'm riding with Robbie Lawler. Sticking with my bald boy for life. I think he takes out Nico. It might be a decision, but I think it's gonna be a good fight.
I don't think that Nico takes him out. I think it's gonna be either a decision or a war, and I'm ready for either. I'm ready for either. It's leading into the pay-per-view. It is the feature prelims.
Good feature prelim.
It's how much respect can you put on Robbie Lawler without putting him on the main card?
It's a pretty good spot.
That being said, you have Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn.
Let's make our pick there.
If I had the money, I would put $3,000 on Bo, just so I can make a little bit of money. Because this guy, Val Woodburn, I don't know how much you know about Val. I could text him right now. I could text Val Woodburn right now, and I would get a reply.
You can text the headliner of Combat Night Tallahassee.
Can I do that actually? Can I call Val Woodburn right now?
Call him.
All right. I'm about to call Val Woodburn right now. This is live on the Couch Casuals.
The Val Woodburn. You're going to get a exclusive interview, our first exclusive interview right here.
Can you hear this?
I can't.
Listen, Val Woodburn, Are you there?
The what?
Val. So Val Woodburn is the opponent for Bo Nickel this weekend. I need to answer, or I need you to answer some questions for me, okay, Val?
No.
How do you feel about Bo Nickel's wrestling coming into this weekend? Coming into tonight, rather. I know you're probably getting your hands wrapped. You're probably warming up. Val Woodburn, you are a plus 1,200 underdog. Bo Nickel is a minus 2,500 favorite. How do you feel like you do against Bo Nickel tonight?
Knock his ass out. You gonna wrestle me?
He's a decorated NCAA wrestler.
Ooh.
I think Val's a little preoccupied.
He's definitely got.
We should let Val go. He's got to warm up for tonight. He
All
clearly
right.
doesn't know what's happening right
Warm
now.
up. Warm up. I wanted to hear your thoughts on how you were going to do against Bo Nickel tonight.
I feed him the hands.
You feed him the hands?
Yep, every chance he comes in.
You
You take a step, you get a jab.
take a step, you get a jab. He shoots in for a double. What are you going to do?
I step away.
Pray to God.
Just pray. Just
You just back up and say, "What are you doing?"
Okay. Thank you very much, Val. Thank you so much, Val. The Couch Casuals are very appreciative. And
Our first exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, Val Woodburn.
Val Woodburn, everyone. I love you.
Val's such a sweetheart. I'm picking Bo by murder.
Bo by double homicide. He's going to murder him and his future kid and everybody in his way. So,
Okay, let's move on.
of course.
We have a solid lightweight fight. Ranks 11 and 12. Jalen Turner versus Dan Mayo Hair Hooker.
No, don't. We're on the
Oh,
same
shit,
team.
It's Dan himself!
We're on the same team.
Yeah, I think everyone's going for the Charles Oliveira look. I don't blame him. Maybe it'll bring him some luck.
So
This will be a very fun kickboxing fight.
Jalen Turner missed weight. I don't know if you know this.
He did. He missed by like 2 pounds, or no, like 4 or 5 pounds, right?
158.
158.
2.5 pounds.
So he does lose 20% of his purse for this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's gonna be a very fun fight. This whole card is amazing, and this is gonna be a good kickboxing fight. I'm excited for this one.
I will agree with you. It is going to be a striking fight. I don't believe either of these guys are going to wrestle.
I don't see it.
I don't see any grappling going down. Now, that's when they surprise us. That's when they're like, I didn't see any grappling going down. And then it ends up being a grappling match because the guys are so good at striking, they're not willing to take strikes from the other guy. It's too much. That being said, if you were to go striking versus striking, who do you got?
I think this is a tough one. I hate to say it. I don't really hate to say it because I like both these guys, honestly. I'm going to ride with the younger gentleman and Jalen Turner. I'm picking Jalen. Dan has taken a lot of damage in his last couple years in the fight. I mean, he's been brutally knocked out a couple times. Michael Chandler, my boy, slept his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a lot of wear and tear. I think Jalen gets it done.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me any question.
Who's Jalen fought?
Let's look.
Because I can rebuttal with who has Dan Hooker fought. Dan Hooker's fought the champ, Islam Makhachev.
Which wasn't much of a fight.
Stop. Who's he
I'm just
fought?
saying.
He's fought Dustin Poirier. He's fought Michael Chandler.
You're right. The
Upper echelon of the 155-pound
that
division.
experience. He's got that high-level experience. But because of those fights, he's taken a lot of
I'll agree. I mean, if you look at the Poirier fight.
I'm not saying Jalen's going out there and walk his ass, but this is like one of the more slight, like I'm kind of leaning a little bit Jalen. This isn't a heavy pick. This is kind of just that's who I think might win it.
Sure.
Who you running with?
Dan Hooker all day. Fucking.
Hey, that's our first. Hey, the hair is beautiful, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
So I love this look compared to your Friar Tuck look. This shit's hot.
Okay. Anyways, I got Dan Hooker all day. I did this before Dan, and then he did it, so it solidified my pick. Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's see it. I'm excited. I think that's a fun fight. And then would you like to introduce our next fight?
Our next fight is a middleweight bout, which I can argue all day is for the title. But I don't know. I don't know how the UFC works. I don't know how any of this works. I can only contest on what I would like. This is a number one contenders fight.
100%.
For the the middleweight bout. The 185-pound title that Israel Adesanya holds. This is Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis.
Dricus is on a tear of violent fights. And a lot of... let me look at the record.
Who is his
I
last
remember
win?
watching it, but I don't remember who he beat.
Who is his last win?
Who is it?
I'm asking
Yeah.
you. Casual.
I'm looking it up.
I'm asking you.
I am a casual.
Same.
Oh, I remember this fight. All right, who is it? I got it up, so I'm sure you know
it was the wrestler, the Blonde Bronson.
Blonde Bronson slept him round 2. He okay, so the Darren Till fight prior to that.
Stop! Don't. No.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that one. Brad Tavares before that. I mean, the guy is just
He's a sleeper. He's a sleeper fighter.
He's a sleeper fighter. Like, you never expect him. I don't think I think everyone thought Brunson was going to win, Till was going to win. But nah. This dude he's like a bull in a china shop. He just he's violent.
And that's why all the interviews that I've seen with Robert Whittaker, they've been nothing but respectful. They've been nothing but high praise. If you underestimate... Go ahead.
Yeah, he's not sleeping on this guy. He knows how dangerous Dricus du Plessis is. I think let me just get my pick out there so I can make my next statement. I'm picking Robert Whittaker, but if Dricus gets it done, him versus Izzy, I think it's gonna be a very fun lead up to the fight because Dricus claims he's the only African fighter in the UFC. He's only African. He's from South Africa. So, I think it'll be fun.
Okay, are you ready for my retort?
I'm ready.
Oh, so your parents had sex in Africa. Oh, so you were born in Africa.
Yeah.
No.
It's hilarious.
No.
It's hilarious.
No. Robert Whittaker, he was on I believe it was the Australian Olympic team for wrestling. And so
Robert is that dude.
You're not going to take him down. How many times did Izzy take him down? Now, Izzy is he's only kryptonite. He did that, the lean back.
Yeah.
Don't come at me with some, he's going to ragdoll his... Now, Dricus is a very formidable opponent. I'm with you. I'm with you. Robert Whittaker is number 2. Just like
Robert's that dude.
Just like Max Holloway is number 2 in the 145, he just can't beat Volk. So you give Robert Whittaker to Izzy for what, a third time? It's not going to go how you want it to go. I promise it's not going to go how you want it to go. Dricus, he's refreshing. He's new. He's new blood. He's fresh blood.
He is.
I'd rather see Izzy fight Sean Strickland.
Dude, that would be a wild lead up.
I mean, all the smack talk.
Wild lead up.
All the smack talk, all of the circumstances, all of the outcomes that are possible. Dricus, he talks smack on Izzy's African background, and that's not cool. But
it's not. It would get nasty.
It's proximity. That's all you were. You were a little sperm that made its way to an egg in a certain region of a certain part of the world. That's the only thing that makes you African. Okay?
I think that's the first mention of sperm on our show. The first sperm has made its way here. And it won't be the
last.
But, okay, so you say you'd rather see him fight Sean, but as an actual fight, which fight would you rather see? Or are you talking about the lead-up would be more fun with Sean?
I think Izzy sparks him. I think that they grappled or they sparred a couple of years ago, and Dricus...
Who?
Oh, okay. Dricus and Izzy.
Okay.
I think they sparred a couple of years ago, and Dricus owned him on the ground. And then Izzy said that there was some stand-up sparring where he banked. He owned Dricus, but Dricus doesn't want to admit that. That's fine. That's fine by me. I know Sean Strickland's style, and I know Izzy's style, and I know that would be a much more fun mashup. So him seeing Robert this weekend, tonight, it's going to tell all. How much is he going to wrestle fuck? How much is he going to do against a prime striker, a prime grappler, an upper echelon of the 185 division? If you're going to say that Max Holloway is number 2 to Alexander Volkanovski in the 145, who's Izzy's number 2? It's Robert Whittaker.
Yeah, this is one of those fights where it's like, we all know Robert's probably going to win, but it does give that young guy a chance to just kind of break in.
That's what he needs.
It's a star-making fight for him. And if he loses, it's really not that big of a deal. This is kind of a win-win for Dricus, I think. It's not like this is not a loss that you can be like, oh, you lost. You're 29. You're fighting Robert Whittaker. So that's my thoughts on the fight. Should be a very fun one. Oh, Robert. I'm picking Robert Whittaker.
As am I. Us Roberts got to stick together. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So, that being said, the next fight is the UFC flyweight title, the 125-pound division. You have Brennan Moreno versus Alexander Pantoja, I believe is his name. Pantoja 2. This is the second time they fought. This is not the first. This is the second.
This is going to be a fun fight. I love Brandon.
Do you remember the first one?
I never saw the first one.
I don't think it should count because when you're on the Ultimate Fighter, there are professional fights, yes, but I don't believe they count on your professional record.
No, so that's why I don't think it does. But that's also why this is why I said this might be the third fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I forgot, that one of them was a tough fight. So they're calling this one 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But they've technically fought 3 times.
Have they?
Yes. They fought on Tough. Did they not? Right?
They did fight on Tough where Brennan lost and he got kicked from Tough.
Then they had they have a fight that's not a Tough fight.
For real?
Yeah, Moreno was ranked 7. Pantoja was 12. So this is 3.
This is news to me.
This is, in fact, I believe this is the fight Moreno got cut after.
Cut from the UFC?
Remember when Brandon's been cut from the UFC?
Along with all the other names. So, based off of this performance tonight, how do you see Brandon doing against Pantoja?
I like to think that Brandon is on a new level than when they last fought. Clearly. He's been in some absolute wars. He's been in, I mean, he's won the title technically like 2 or 3 times now. Because I keep just flip-flopping.
Of course.
I think this is going to be a very good fight. It's going to be nice to see somebody other than Figueiredo up there. I really liked Kai Kara France in their fight.
Yeah.
But Brandon made it look easy. Brandon, I think I'm picking Brandon. If you can't tell, I really like Brandon Moreno.
Viva Mexico! Let's go, dude. Who are you talking about? You talking about Brandon Moreno? You talking about a sure
let's see
thing?
if you stick with this. We'll see.
I like
momentarily.
I like Pantoja, and I will be very, very upset if he wins. I'm just letting you know right now. Next week's show.
You know where Pantoja's from?
I know where Brandon Moreno's from.
Do you know where Pantoja's from, though?
I don't. Enlighten me.
Brazil. So do you like him still?
Pantoja?
Pantoja
No.
is from Brazil.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You know my favorite Brazilian is Paulo Costa.
Who? Oh, Paulo Costa. I can't wait for. I can't wait if we get to talk about him.
Okay.
One day.
So
anyway,
Brandon Moreno is my locked-in pick.
Same.
I think he finishes Pantoja.
I think so too. I'm ready for it. Brandon Moreno's got that quiet confidence he's developed in his last fights. He got a little cocky in his loss to Figueiredo. So I think he learned from that. He was a little cocky, but ever since then he's just kept that calm. What was he does this little thing right here.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
You know. But I'm ready. I'm excited for this fight.
Beautiful co-main. Couldn't have picked a better co-main.
In fact, if the next fight was not on this card, and this was your main, and Robert Andrikis was a co-main, it'd be a pretty good show. But no, we got one more fight. To talk about.
We have one more fight on the main card. We could talk about the prelims all day, but this is
one of my favorite fighters currently. Pound for pound, number 1, Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. El Pantera is a great nickname.
So,
this is going to be another good fight, I dare say.
Did you see his custom belt?
Whose?
Yair.
No. He got a custom belt? Let me look this up.
Yeah, please. And I'll dance for the audience while we do this. So, Viva Mexico, we're definitely with Brandon Moreno, right?
Oh, whoa.
Dog, look at that. Look at it. Anybody at home?
That's slick.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Can we edit in a picture right about now?
Now.
It's a beautiful looking strap, and I don't normally like the super colorful stuff, but that.
When have you ever seen that done? When have you ever seen that done?
This specifically? I mean, I've seen some really hideous belts in the WWE.
And In the what? In the UFC?
Oh, no. Yeah, not in the UFC. That's a pretty belt. That's sick.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, we've never seen a belt like this.
Why did Brandon not get that?
Because it's not an interim champ. That's just me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to diss Yair. He beat Josh Emmett.
Yeah, who just got
Well,
brutally. Yeah.
So
By the,
Yair, he gets his own custom belt. Do you know where he's been training?
somewhere like on Aztec temples, right? Like
Aztec Temple's 10,000 feet above elevation. His
he's
cardio
it's
is
gotta
at
be nuts.
all-time high, dude.
I mean, it has to be because he's fighting Volk.
It
When has
has to
Volk
be.
ever tired out in a fight? Have you ever seen that happen?
You're talking about Islam on his back, where he's punching him in
Islam. I don't care what anyone says. I still believe Volk won that fight.
We watched it together. And I go, if Alexander did not win this fight, then these judges, literally, I'll go become a judge. And then Islam won the fight, and I go, Kyle, I guess I have to go become a judge.
It just anyway. I don't want to talk about that fight anymore. But Volk is a next level fighter. This is gonna be a fun fight. I think Alex is. There's levels to this, and I think Alex is a little bit above Yair. And I like Yair, I really do. But
Do you want to do some MMA? Do you want to do some MMA math?
we can do some MMA math.
Max versus Yair. Max was always one.
How many significant strikes were in that fight?
Not as much as the
Well, not as much against
Calvin Kattar.
Obviously not.
But he pieced him up. Max, he read him well. So Max versus Yair, kicks or not, dude, Yair is super talented. And like I said, he's been training at 10,000 feet above altitude. He is so ready for this fight. I don't know how ready he thinks he is versus Alexander Volkanovski.
I mean,
versus how well he really is.
Some people have brought up Yair's recent win history. He beat Brian Ortega by dislocating his shoulder. Okay, everyone says that was a bit of a fluke, but Yair I think he had like an armbar or some sort of triangle in. He damaged the shoulder, you know? He damaged that shoulder, and he caused that injury, which gave him the win. Everyone says it's a freaking accident. I don't think so. Yair hurt him, right?
Sure.
Then he beats Josh Emmett.
For the IC.
And then before those two, he lost to Max. So, like, I don't know. I don't think he's ready for Volk.
Volk's
just too game.
He's an MFer.
Volk is just too game. He's too ready. He's too prepared.
Man. I love Volkanovski. He's one of the 2 Prime sponsored athletes. So, like,
are we sponsored yet?
DraftKings.
Oh yeah.
DraftKings.
Yeah, if you wanna join me in DraftKings tonight, code CCMMA, 2% off your first bet.
But use that bet wisely, okay? We're gonna
put it all on Val Woodburn.
We're gonna do. We're gonna do a like a caution, like, hey, gambling is bad for you.
Oh yeah.
If
you or a loved one has a gambling addiction, please call. Google the number. It's there.
1-800 gamble my life away.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, I have Alexander Volkanovski by.
I think I put decision on verdict.
Oh, shout out to Verdict MMA.
I think I put decision.
I think I have the same. Alexander's he's too nice.
He puts the work on you. I mean, I don't think it'll end up being like the damn zombie fight, but
No, the last second knockout.
It was just a standing knockout. No. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Volk versus Zombie, which
I mean
that
was still a stoppage. It was still a stoppage.
It was a stoppage.
Ref had to be like, "Hey, we can't do this anymore."
Yeah, this is we're just murdering a man.
Okay, so we went through the main card. Lawler versus Price. We got Robbie Lawler, right? Or no?
Shout out. Yeah, we have Robbie.
We have Robbie.
We have Robbie. The CCMA pick.
Bo Nickel versus Woodburn.
Bo. But let me throw a little DraftKings advice out to the fans. If you're playing a couple different cards on DraftKings, and if you know how it works, throw Val in on one of your cards because you can afford all the other. He's very cheap on there.
Sure.
You can afford all the other really good fighters, and if by some chance he does nominally well in this fight, he doesn't even have to win to get you good points. Just saying, he's the cheapest fighter I've ever seen.
I don't know how that stuff goes because I don't bet on MMA because I have a brain. Anyways, so you go back to the card. Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker.
This is the only one where we don't agree.
We're just
I'm right in.
Blonde boys doing what blonde boys do.
Jalen Turner, the tarantula.
The tarantula. Get out of here. Dan Hooker pieces him up.
We'll see.
Okay, and then you have Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis, which Dricus is on the rise. He's supposed to be the next upcomer. I believe we both have Robert Whittaker, right?
We both have taken Robert here.
If DDP turns out to be an upset or a showstopper tonight, I'm letting you know right now, skip Sean Strickland. Go DDP versus Izzy.
100%, yeah, 100%. This fight's your next title fight.
Number one contender, which I hate to see Robert Whittaker, Izzy 3. I really do. I don't want, you know how I feel about recycled fights. I don't want that. But
it's getting more and more common.
I mean, you're talking about Izzy running through the division.
Yeah.
Probably 3 times now. Now that he sent Alex into the shadow realm of 205, Alex Bejeda. Now that he sent his arch nemesis, some anime style rival to the 205 division, hey,
Izzy's life is an anime.
It is.
It is.
I don't know the anime style stuff, but
I don't either.
You have Brandon Moreno, my guy, versus Alexander Pantoja 2. Like I said, the tough one doesn't count. You said that they had a fight previous to this.
Yes.
It might be the 3rd time they fight. Pantoja has never seen a Brandon Moreno like this. I guarantee it.
Guaranteed.
Pantoja has never seen a Brandon Moreno like this.
Brandon is he's ready. This dude is so pinpoint focused. Calm. His striking's immaculate.
Hang on. So, are you telling me we have a main card before we even get to the main event? We have a main card where we agree on all of the fights?
-1.
Ooh, which one's that one?
Jalen and Dan Hooker. It's the only one we've disagreed on today.
Oh, you got, even though he missed weight and he got fined 20% of his purse?
Yeah. We're going to go. That's our CC MMA Battle of the Week. It's our fight of the week.
I like that.
It's the only one we're head to head on.
I like that. Dan Hooker is gonna starch this motherfucker.
There's gonna be some shit talking next week.
And then you have Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Viva Mexico when it comes to Brandon Moreno, but Aussie, oi, when it comes to fucking Alexander Volkanovski.
Obviously, I do love Volk, How if Yair won, would you be hype? I don't dislike Yair. I like Yair a lot.
Yes, I would be hype because that is half of me. It is my native land. It is my home country. I don't even want to play like that. But for MMA, I like Alex's pound for pound one, like number one. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. I want to see him take that 155 belt. But like he said, excuse me, it doesn't matter about the 155 belt. I want to beat Islam. And so I want them to run it back. He needs to beat Yair. He needs to beat Yair. Or as Chael Sonnen would call him, Yair. In order to get that 155-pound title shot. And I believe it happens. I believe he runs through Yair in 3 rounds. 3 rounds. He doesn't even need the championship rounds. His jiu-jitsu, he's coached by Craig Jones. Are you familiar with Craig Jones?
Yes.
He's coached by Craig Jones. He's Eugene Behrman, the best coaches in the world. I'm not saying that Yair doesn't have the best coaches. I don't know Yair's coaches. But Alex is definitely ready. Yair could train at altitude. He could train at altitude. He could train at 10,000 feet above altitude. He could train at sea level. He could be sea level Kane. It does not matter. Alex will be ready and more than ready for anything that Yair has. And that is my final pick, Alexander Volkanovski, in 3 rounds.
Same. One thing of note is Yair's style is definitely not one that Alex has fought against. He's a little bit he's got the taekwondo kicks. He's a little bit flashier. It's a little different. I still think Alex wins, but it's a different fight than we've seen before. So it could be very interesting.
Sure.
Just throwing it out there.
Hey, dude.
Who's his coach? I was looking up his coach.
Yair?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Valley Flow Striking. I don't.
Oh, Valley Flow, like the guys that have
Valley Flow, bro.
Only won in interim.
They have they have an interim champ.
Yeah, sure. That belt is sick.
That belt is sick.
I'm about to put the belt up right now. That belt is sick.
So, we've talked about the card, and now we're going to get into the news, the fun questions, a few minutes of banter here.
Extra.
I have a question for you.
Now, hang on. Is this the question that you brought up before the show started?
It is. It's
a surprise. So I have no idea what he's going to say.
And I saw this. I don't know if I saw it like on an Instagram comment, on an Instagram page, Twitter, Reddit. I don't remember now where I saw it. And it goes well with us talking about Yair's belt because somebody threw out the idea, and this could have been on a show or something, the idea of what if the IC titles, all interim belts, instead of being gold, were silver? I thought that'd be kind of an interesting look. It would differentiate you. You don't have the real belt yet. And I feel like it would make these interim title fights feel different. Because I'm sick of they have interim title fights all the time. Yair should not even be interim champ, really. Why do they have it? Alex was gone for one fight.
So, this is what I'll say about that. You have to have a number 1 contenders fight.
That's fine.
But when you have an Olympic event, right? Judo, skiing, pole vault, anything like that, like snowboarding, anything that's an Olympic event, you have the gold, the silver, and the bronze. When you fight for the UFC title, call it a Power Ranger belt all you want to, Colby Covington.
It does, yeah.
when you're the champ, it is a gold-plated belt with the rubies on how many title defenses you have. Okay, cool. I get that.
You are champ.
I used to play SmackDown versus Raw 2007, and I used to I used to customize my own belt. What I won't do is call the interim champ the champ.
No.
So when Yair fought Josh Emmett for the interim champ, you can't make that the same color as Alex.
It shouldn't.
You can't, because that's not the champ.
There was no reason for that to even be an interim title fight. Were they just planning on Volk being out a long time after Islam? Was that the thought? I don't understand why that was even an interim fight. We're just throwing that shit out there. Like,
you can call it the N1C. Don't call it the interim.
Belt.
Don't call it the interim as in like there's going to be something else that's leading into this. Call it the N1C. The BMF. You do BMF, baddest motherfucker. N1C, number one contender. Don't do this thing where it's like, okay, we're going to give him a belt that looks like this. Like, here you go. You're fighting the champ next. There have been so many intercontinental
champ.
There's been so many number one contenders. Justin Gaethje, he fought Khabib. What happened? Dustin Poirier fought Khabib. What happened? So I think it should be its own thing. I think it should solidify the number one contender spot, yet be different from what the champ has. Because if Because if you give them the same stuff, what am I fighting for? What am I fighting
for? Like, it doesn't make sense. And sometimes interim fights are important.
When a champion is out for like
out for a year,
200 days, 300 days.
When Dustin won the interim belt, that was during Khabib's suspension, I believe, the year-long suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So that made sense, right?
I'd say
this one with Yair made no sense to me. Yes, it was definitely a number one contender fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're just throwing that belt on to look nicer on the posters and the marquees and the
the belt versus
sense.
Belt. Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense, but
do you like Yair's belt, the custom belt?
I love that belt. That's pretty sick.
It's
a pretty
sick.
Dope belt.
It's so sick. He's the first one to have one like that.
Too bad it'll never be the official championship belt because he's not winning tonight.
Okay.
But if he wins, it would be kind of sick if he just rocked that one the whole time.
I'm with you.
That would be kind of cool.
What else?
That was my little tidbit of conversation starter.
Did we move on to the MMA memes of the week?
Let's throw the memes out.
Do you want yours or mine?
Mine.
Okay.
Either one. Either one.
3, 2, 1.
Which one's up? Mine?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely found this meme. It's the new what's it called? It's the MSG. Which when he said that earlier, I thought he was talking about Madison Square Garden, but there's the MSG building in Vegas. It's this big dome that looks like a orb of light that changes like every few minutes.
Now, what can you fit inside this dome?
You could fit Paulo Costa's secret juice formula.
You can fit the Statue of Liberty in this shit.
Do you want to get ripped like me and Paulo? You gotta drink secret juice. Code CCMMA for 50% off your first year supply of secret juice. $2,000 value. Buy it for $1,000. Secret juice. Paulo Costa. And yes, you can fit the Statue of Liberty in that building as well.
Now, I don't know how much you guys know about secret juice.
He just had a sip of secret juice.
I'm always
That's what
sipping
causes
secret juice.
that.
If you watch Space Jam, they have their secret juice, which hyped them up. I can guarantee that myself and my co-host Kyle, one of the most beautiful men I've ever met in my life, we have no idea what is in this secret juice. And Paulo Costa, to this day, has trademarked this juice, and we have no idea what's in it.
Well, we drank it. I drank it from the teat of Paulo Costa.
Listen,
from the source.
Listen, and I got it secondhand. Kyle, and then spit it into my mouth. I have no idea what's in this secret juice, but I do know that my biceps have never been bigger. My cardio has never been better. So I'm just letting you fans at home know.
Drink it.
Drink it. Drink it,
mean,
Duplessis.
Can we throw up a picture of Paulo Costa's physique?
1, 2, 3.
That's what secret juice gets you.
That's what
you look like a Greek god.
Dude. So, that being said, that was Kyle's MMA meme of the week. And now for mine. What? When she tries to kiss you after giving you head. You little Bellator tick. You'll do nothing, you little Bellator tick. How do you feel about Conor going 0-6?
Oh, God, dude.
Now, hang on. 0-6 in what? The Ultimate Fighter?
And the Ultimate Fighter. His boys are not.
Which boys did he pick? So it's literally.
He's got all the rookies.
It's literally one of the worst matchups in the Ultimate Fighter history. You have vets.
It made no sense.
You have vets versus rookies. People who have never, like, local regional fighters versus, like, vets, like Jason Knight. Like, people who have been in the UFC.
One of Mike's fighters won tough a few years ago and has been cut since.
So, Conor went with straight rooks, newbies.
That being said, his boy Lee Hammond, who apparently is a young guy that trains with Conor in
SBG.
Ireland,
SBG,
was winning his fight this last week and got put to sleep with like 2 minutes to go.
Tapped.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He tapped.
Don't do that.
He got choked out. He tapped. Hail Mary. The guy was getting worked. But
vet versus rook. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And Conor dropped to his knees.
That picture of Conor is so dramatic. It's so funny. But that was his boy.
He drops to his knees. 0-6. Goes into the cage. Congratulates his opponent. Hey, congratulations.
Not Mike, though.
And then who starts talking smack?
I don't know who started it.
Stack up.
It happened. You know why? Because Conor was talking shit the week before. Conor started that shit.
Oh, you're talking about Conor McGregor talking smack?
Yeah. Mike's getting under his skin. It's hilarious.
Don't talk. These guys have been in the UFC before you were in the UFC, you little Bellator tick. What are you talking about?
Conor's getting
we're gonna
rocked.
We're gonna fight right now? We're gonna fight right now?
Mike by knockout whenever they fight.
Yo, that's an early prediction. And that's something I won't stand for. I don't even know if that'll happen this year. But
it's not. It's officially not happening this year.
Yo, Dana White goes, I don't care what USADA says.
That sounds about right.
That's what he said. He goes, I don't care what USADA says. Conor can do whatever he wants. And I'm taking that at face value.
So you think we're getting it in December?
Yes. We got what was it?
Ready.
Brock Lesnar versus oh man, this is gonna kill me.
It's a Samoan dude, right?
Yeah, of course.
What's his name?
Mark.
Has the most Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt.
The most un-Samoan name.
He could be Mike.
He could.
Mike
But thankfully,
Hunt.
he's a
Mike
Mark.
Hunt, but he's Mark Hunt.
Still get the cunt in there.
Well. So Mark Hunt gets owned by Brock Lesnar with a USADA exemption. So you can't tell me it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah.
And that's where I'll leave that. We're at an hour. We've made our MMA picks for UFC 290. Lawler versus Price, Nickel versus Woodburn, which he's from another organization. Turner versus Hooker, Whitaker versus Duplessis, Moreno versus Pantoja 2 officially. Volkanovski versus Rodriguez for the UFC featherweight title. I mean, this is one of the most stacked cards of the year, which it should be because it's UFC International Fight Week.
It's a good card.
It's one of the best cards. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
That covers it for this week, especially if we're at an hour.
Ooh. John Jones versus Stipe just got announced. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited.
The heavyweight, the heavyweight GOAT versus the light heavyweight GOAT.
The heavyweight GOAT versus the GOAT.
Ooh. Well, you could say the light heavyweight GOAT without steroids is Daniel Cormier. And what happened in that fight? What happened in that fight? Daniel Cormier goes up against Stipe Miocic. One fight, bang, 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 bang. Knockout, double champ.
Second fight.
Liver shot, times 14.
Yeah.
Times 14.
DC was dominating up until he started throwing those
liver shots.
Like, the adjustment was insane. And then the third fight was just Stipe by everything. Oh, the eye. Yeah, I remember the eye. DC, I thought he was going to go blind. Ugh.
So we will never know what it is like to have DC at his optimal performance versus a character with no steroids or versus a character with no eye pokes. It will always be up in the air with DC, with Daniel Cormier, with the double champ, with the GOAT. And that's what I'm calling. I'm calling DC the GOAT. On the end of this UFC 290 podcast, Daniel Cormier is the GOAT. Fuck Johnny Bones and fuck Stipe Miocic. Daniel Cormier is the GOAT.
DC. I love DC, so I'm okay with that.
We're going to do the card one more time. Secret Juice.
Throw it up there.
When she tries to kiss you after giving you head. You little Bellator tick. Get out of my face. I love you, Kyle. And
I love you, Robert.
And we're going to be back next week to confirm the right picks. Because we are the Couch Casuals. And we
CCMMA.
CCMMA. If you're going anywhere else, I'll list all the Instagram pages. MMA Junkie. Full Violence. Home of Fight. If you're going to any of these, you're going to get branded stuff. Like they have.
You're getting subpar news.
They have deals. They have bias. If you're coming to Couch Casuals MMA, where are we? I'm in a chair, yes. But ideally, I'm in the couch.
Behind me.
Listen, go sit in the couch. Go sit in the couch. That guy, he's one of the most respected analysts I know. And he's sitting in a couch. I have the inability to show you my couch. But I'm telling you right now, I would sit in the couch, and one day we're gonna jump from this platform to another platform, and we'll both be on a couch.
Well, we have a couple million listeners a week.
Just
we're gonna have a nice couch.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. We don't need a lot.
So
we have a nice couch.
So from our couch to yours, I hope you have a fun weekend. I hope you have a fun night of fights. This has been Robert Dylan Vasquez and my beautiful co-host,
Kyle Diorio.
And we will see you next week to confirm our expertise picks of UFC 290. Bye.